Hello Tactician, and welcome back to another Mythic Journey. Ascending today's hero was mostly an economic decision, because I hope to see the Norn Crown at the Rogue Trader sometime this century, and had about 350 excess shards to convert to Archaeotech after pulling Jain Zar twice in requisitions. The extra gold from the mission chain is also going to be useful. Mythic ability and equipment upgrades get pricey, absurdly so for the amount of benefit they provide. But this isn't supposed to be a rant about the endgame's economy, so let's get to business. Mission 1. Score 16 hits with Jain Zar in one turn. This mission is obviously meant to be done using Jain's active, which deals 3 hits each to up to 4 enemies standing in a line for a standard maximum of 12 hits, meaning you have to somehow get 4 extra from various buffs. Luckily, Jain's active is considered a melee attack, which gives us more options. The first one would be any mode with power-ups to grab either of the hits-ups with Jain, and then hopefully have the enemies line up neatly for her active, which may be tricky in the TA. On the bright side, with the melee hits-up, you should only need 3 enemies grouped up. The second option is a mode where you can mix the LRE and Imperials to buff her with Thoriad's +1 hit against each of her targets, which I think is Snowprint's intended way of completing this mission. And I sort of regret I hadn't realized this one before recording the practical, because it's a little more convenient, if a lot less flashy, than what I did.
The first Jain Zar's Mythic Journey mission requires her to score 16 hits in one turn, and because I probably will have talked more about this in the theoretical part, I'm just gonna summarize in that this should be doable in an arena if you manage to line up 4 enemies and bring Trajan to buff Jain's active against at least 2 targets by the +2 hits. So I'm gonna try just that because I finally found an arena map open enough with a team where this could be possible if they just decide to, yes, stand exactly like this in one line. So I'm gonna put Trajan right in the middle of the 3 enemies. I was hoping for 2, 3 is even better. And at the one of the ends of the conga line, I'm gonna drop Jain Zar and use her active. And in theory, this should have even scored 18 hits. Guess I will find out for sure after the fight is over. Now I just need to hopefully win this fight. I would like to kill Karn, so I'm gonna make sure Celestine dies. There. Wow, Karn. Good. Perfect. Oh, nice. And yes, that's the first Jain Zar's Mythic Journey mission done in a rather unexpected way.
Mission 2. Deal 15,000 damage with Jain Zar in one turn. As usual, this mission would be least inconveniently done in a guild raid where you could buff Jain with Ragnar, Anshi, Eldrion, and Trajan or Kalgar, and hit the damage quota with a normal attack easily. But if you want to be a good team player, like I pretend to be, and not hurt your guild's raid performance to ascend a low priority hero such as Jain, you can try to get this one in the arena again.
The second Jain Zar's Mythic Journey mission requires her to deal 15,000 damage in one turn, which is going to be tricky to do in an arena, basically the same way I did the first mission. But I think I found a map and lineup where that might work, so if I just play this perfectly, well, it may happen because of the potential high ground bonus and because Eldrion and Trajan will buff Jain Zar's active really well. Now I'm kinda expecting Karn and Karien here to end somewhere around these hexes, which should let Jain Zar use her active from over there, even if Dante takes up one of these hexes. And where exactly can he actually get? Okay, I'm gonna pre-position Eldrion here, so that ideally he doesn't have to move to buff, well, at least one or two of the potential targets. And I want to move Karn and Galgord's close, and having a Spore up here to be a distraction on the next turn will also work, I think. So wish me luck. Good. Okay, I was hoping Dante would take one of these hexes. I probably should have put the Spore here, but then again he still could have done it from over there. Can't do anything about that now. So let's get going. Trojans active. Good. Jain Zar goes onto the high ground, and Karn and Karien are both Eldrion debuffed, so let's see. Rest in pieces, bitches! They had a combined total of 18,000 HP, so I think with that the Jain Zar's mission is done. And now I just need to reposition Eldrion to be useful. Let's see what the WA does. I think one of the boys will finish off Karien, and if not, then Eldrion can do that, no problem. There. And goodbye, Tiark. And that's the second Jain Zar's Mythic Journey mission done.
Mission 3. Defeat 150 enemies with Jain Zar. This many kills with an LRE hero is an out-of-season April Fool's joke from Snowprint. Luckily, there's Elite Samehand Stage 18 with Voxcasters and thus potentially infinite KDMs. Let's see how much progress I can make in one run.
The third Jain Zar's Mythic Journey mission needs her to defeat 150 enemies, luckily not in one battle, and, well, there is exactly one stage in all of the Samehand campaign where there are Voxcasters. Elite Samhain Stage 18. Let's see how many kills my Silver 1 Jain can get in one run, because she will run out of HP pretty soon. Okay, apparently she needs some buffs here to get the kills, but that's what Aethana and Eldrion are for. I probably don't want her to be in the bombardment, not on this turn at least. And the summons have less HP than the original guardsman, which is good. She should be able to take those out reliably. Brrt, that's 3 more kills. Where is the last? There's the last original. Good. And yes, I think I want to reduce the number of Voxcasters, so this is also good. There. battle fatigues should count. So this looks really good to me now. In. They're trying to get Jain attacked by as few enemies as possible, so that she lasts as long as possible. Can't tap around that, damn it. Okay, this isn't great, because now I could scare the Voxcaster away by killing the Cadians. This is acceptable though. Alright, so Jain now has 3 HP, which means she can only afford to take this one hit, and now at 2 she no longer is guaranteed to survive the next turn, so it's time to finish the stage and see if the mission has been completed. And it has. I didn't expect to get that one done in one mission, but, well, in one stage I mean, but hey, it happened.
Mission 4. Defeat 7 contagions of Nurgle enemies with Jain Zar in one battle. Whoever came up with the idea for this mission must have got not enough love from their parents when they were a child, because as of now the Eldari only meet Death Guard in PvP, in the Plague Burst Crawler incursion, in some of the legendary events, and when raiding Mortarion. I don't really think PvP is the way to go for this one, because you need to find a foolish Death Guard team with Corrodius, and not only survive it long enough that Corrodius summons at least 2 Poxwalkers, but also finish everyone off with Jain Zar, and no matter how I look at that, that's just no. I also want to ascend at the very least Galatian and the Forge Fiend before the Plague Burst Crawler, and I don't want to delay those for a month by locking myself into the Plague Burst incursion. And none of the currently ongoing legendary events have Death Guard as opponents, so that leaves only Mortarion, or more accurately, the Corrodius raid fight with oodles and oodles of Poxwalkers. I'll probably want to bring Eldryon to buff Jane's active, because even if she attacks every turn, she still needs to score at least one double kill. Then Isabella and maybe the Tyrant Guard to keep Jane alive, and Ulf, Jaeger or Tirith to actually put a dent in the Poxwalker horde. I don't have footage for this one, because there is no fucking Morty in this raid season. Mission 5. Deal 50,000 damage to overwatching enemies with Jain Zar. The potentially quickest way of completing this mission is in a guild raid taking advantage of Rivas's special damage mechanic, if your Jain is tough enough for this fight. If not, you can try sniping overwatchers in the arena and dive bombing them with Jain and somebody to buff her. Praying to Tzeentch's indeterminable number of balls that Rivas's drones won't block all the hits this time is mandatory.
The final Jain Zar's Mythic Journey mission is supposedly to deal 50,000 damage overall to overwatching enemies, and, well, that's going to be very pleasant, because you kinda can only progress that in the arena. And I'm gonna try and take advantage of Eldrion's active buffing Jain Zar's active as well. So here goes. And That was no progress at all, at least in theory, for this mission. How lovely. Oh well. Now let's see if I can somehow unfuck myself in this precarious situation. There. And that's not the only thing I can do right now because of Rivas. There. Okay, eat one action, hopefully. I think Jain Zar is dead. It would be better to have as few units on low ground as possible. Okay, that could have gone a little worse, I think. So, let's see. In Dark Strider, there. Hopefully get rid of Kalgar. Good. Alright, now what? Now push into Chaussel. There. Kill off Dark Strider and hopefully explode the spores. Good. And that should be the arena cleared. And in theory, how you would go about doing this mission.
And once you get truly desperate, you can go to Elite Same Hand 17 to make at least some progress.
The campaign way of completing the final Jain Zar's Mythic mission is in Elite Same Hand 17, where you have 3 last cannons with almost 1200 HP each, meaning you need to kill about 41 of them. So let's see how that's gonna work. The first one is really easy because Jain pretty much starts in range of it if you position yourself right. Now, trying to farm the other two, that's gonna be tricky. So I'm gonna put Jain here, snipe this guy, and that should hopefully do the trick. Not yet. Do they have movement speed of 1? Oh, right. I thought they had a movement speed of 2. My bad. There. Creepy, creepy. And one Jain's active later. And, well, with some luck, you have just got 3600 damage towards the mission.
Alright, so that's how I did the first 3 of Jain Zar's Mythic Journey missions with her being Silver 1, and how I'm planning to eventually finish it. I just hope Gold 1 will be enough for that because, well, I don't really like Jain that much and don't want to spend more resources on her anytime soon if I can at all help it. My favorite space elf is Kalandis. Uh-oh, Kaurin out?